Hello, this is Clifford Nicgorski, and today I'm going to be sharing another fun Bible story. This is another one out of Genesis that I just thought was fascinating as a young boy growing up in the church, and again I would attempt to read the Bible from beginning to end. And I mean, right off the bat in Genesis, you got Moses getting drunk, and then right after that, you get the story of Lot. The story of Lot is crazy. I don't know what was going on there in Sodom, but here's the story. It all starts with Lot. He moves to a little place called Sodom. He sets up shop there with his two daughters, unmarried. The daughters are unmarried, and his wife. And so they're there, and they just love the place, apparently. They just can't get enough of Sodom. It's their kind of town. And one day, Abraham, his father, is talking with these angels because apparently people outside of Sodom are talking about it. They're like, there's all sorts of ungodly things happening in this city. And at the top of the list was a lot of sodomy. You know, now you know that's where they got the name, obviously. So there's a lot of male gay sex happening there. And apparently God does not like that one bit. So he's getting this outcry. It keeps showing up on God's desk. He's like, what's the deal here with Sodom? This keeps coming up. I'm hearing a large outcry about this city. You know what? I'm gonna destroy it. And so, because Abraham was such a faithful servant, God's like, he grabs a couple angels and he goes, go see Abraham, let him know to get his kid out of there. Okay, give him a warning. So the angels go see Abraham, they're telling what's going on, and Abraham goes, please go see Lot and convince him to get out of Sodom. I know he loves it. I know it's a fun place, but please convince him to leave before you destroy this city. And so the angels head on over to Sodom. When they get to the gateway, they see Lot waiting there for him. And he immediately starts praying and jumps down on his knees and greets these angels disguised as beautiful men, which right off the bat is an interesting plan. You'd think you'd go as like a mildly attractive woman if you're going to a city that's like violently gay, with gay men. You go, maybe we send in like an overweight, modest-looking kind of woman. But no, they disguise themselves as extremely good-looking human men. And they get there, and Lot's like, you guys are gonna stay at my house. I got the whole thing set up. You probably had a charcuterie plate ready. It's like Santa Monica in the desert. And he's like, we got the charcuterie going. He's going, I'm gonna wash your feet, give you a pedicure, stay with us. And the angels were like, I don't know, I think we're gonna just stay in the town square. We're gonna, stay at our own place. And Lot's like, no guest of mine. You're gonna stay at my house. Okay, it's gonna be a good time. So the angels agree, apparently Lot has a lot of pull with these angels. The angels have a plan, and Lot's like, no, 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 no. So he must have been a charming guy. He must have just had this little attitude about him, like, hey, no, you're staying with me. And, that charm, that effeminate charm, maybe. That's how I imagine it, Lot to be. He's just like, okay, I'm married, you're staying with me, my kids. He's almost like he's like a Chris Chrisley, where you're like, this guy seems like he might be gay, but no, I'm insatiable for my wife, a woman, of course. You're staying with me. So he Chris Chrisley charms him, and he gets the angels to come stay at his place. So they get there, and they make quite an impression on the village on their way to Lot's place. And they get there, and immediately it says in the scripture, it says that all the men from the village, young and the oldest and the youngest, all gathered around Lot's house and were like, bring him to us, bring them out so we can have sex with them. And Lot's like, whoa, okay boys, cool it. And the angels are getting worried. They're like, oh boy, why don't we just gather your family and get out of here, because we're gonna burn this fucking place to the ground, okay? And Lot's like, let me talk to the boys, I'll calm them down. And he goes out there and shuts the door behind him real fast, and he addresses all the men and boys, and he's like, hey, leave him alone. I have 2 daughters. What is wrong with you guys? You're insatiable. And you can take my unmarried daughters. And at hearing this, it only got the fellas more riled up. They were like, no, thank you. And just for mentioning that, we're gonna do worse to you than we were gonna do to them. And so Lot's like, oh shit. And the men start to approach and try to head towards the door and the windows of the place, and Lot gets grabbed in by the angels in disguise, and they're like, okay, what are we gonna do? And so the angels blind the crowd. So all these guys are now blind. Like, where did you go? What? Oh. And they can't find the doorknob of the place, the entry, if you will. So they get all tuckered out, and they're like, okay, we're going home. This is bullshit. And they go home, and at that point, the angels are like, do you have anybody that you care about in this goddamn city? Because we're destroying this place immediately. And Lot's like, I have 2 son-in-laws. And like, well, let them know. And so Lot goes and he tries to talk to the 2 future son-in-laws. And these guys don't even realize your dad almost gave your future wives to a crowd of angry gay men to have sex with. And luckily they wanted nothing to do with these broads. But apparently the son-in-laws thought he was joking. They're like, okay, alright, stop it. And they didn't take him seriously. So Lot's like, okay, I guess I gotta go. And then there was a whole debate about which little city to leave to. They got in a whole argument, It was like, hey, go over here, go to this little city. And Lot's like, no, I don't know, I don't really like that place. And he was like really picky about where he stayed. And again, he's got all this pull. He's got a lot of pull with these angels, because the angels tell him what to do, and then he goes, no, I don't think so. I think I want to go here. And so they go, okay, you can go there, but get there sooner rather than later, because daylight's coming and we need to burn this fucking place down. And so they get they head out on their way to their little, these hills, nearby hills, and they're gonna live in a cave. And the angels tell them before they leave, like, don't look back at this place. Don't even look back. Get to the cave. Don't look back towards even in this direction. Just keep running until you get there. And of course, somewhere along the way, Lot's wife has to look back, and boom, she gets turned into a big pillar of salt. Talk about being salty. Anyways, so this is where it gets a little bizarre. You're going, wow, that's a crazy story. Well, there's one more little part to it. They get to these caves, and immediately, in like the first couple nights, the daughters are looking around and they're going, there's no dudes. Apparently everybody in this story is just sexually insatiable. And so these daughters are like, oh my God, there's no dudes around here. And they can see the city smoldering, you know, the smoke coming. It looked like a furnace, they say. It was just on fire. And he had sulfur raining down upon the city. And so they're like, great, now there's no men for us. Who are we gonna date? And the daughters come up with this plan. Apparently they brought plenty of wine, and probably the charcuterie plates again. And they were like, okay, let's throw a little shindig tonight. We're gonna get Dad drunk, and then we'll fuck him, and we can get pregnant. So the first night, the oldest daughter goes in, they get Dad wasted. She ends up having sex with him and leaving, and Lot doesn't even realize what he's done. And then the next morning, they all go to brunch, and things were probably a little weird, you know? They're all looking at each other like, ha ha ha. And they're doing brunch again, and they start hitting them with the bottomless wine again, spritzers, and they're getting them drunk again so the youngest daughter can have sex with them. And sure enough, Dad gets wasted by like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. He doesn't know what's going on. The daughter goes into his tent, bangs him, gets pregnant, leaves, and the dad doesn't even realize. So, it doesn't really tell us much about like the aftermath of that situation. Like, what was the dad doing when he saw the daughters get pregnant? Like, how did you guys get pregnant? I mean, it doesn't have anything to do with those first few nights in the cave, right? I mean, I remember I got pretty drunk, and I kind of remember we were kind of having fun for a minute, and then everything kind of went black. So, yeah, they never really get into it. So I guess it's an opportunity to use our imaginations. Anyways, so that's that little tale, and I hope you enjoyed. I think it's like Genesis 19, and you can read it for yourself and enjoy the story time and time again. Tell your friends. You guys get together for your like hangouts or something, and you get around, you want to tell some stories by the campfire maybe. That seems like a fun campfire story, you know, set the mood for a fun night. Anyways, until next week, that's it. This has been the Clifford Nicgorski Show, ripped from the Bible. Or American Bible stories. That would be a good one. Have the Brad Falchuk make some of these, that would be cool. I think that this would be right up their alley, to tell you the truth. You heard it here first. All right, have a beautiful, beautiful week, and until next time, bye.